If you're trying to eat healthier or hit your protein goals, then you have come to the right place. Here on the Tour Explore Wellness channel, we focus on delicious, simple, and high protein meals that are great for weight loss and maintenance. I'm Amy, I'm a nutrition coach who has personally lost and kept off 40 pounds by eating meals just like this one. So it's my goal to bring you healthier and delicious meals so that you can stay on track too. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this recipe. So today's recipe is gonna kind of be like a healthy nacho bowl type of thing. We're gonna use just kind of like 3 base ingredients, and then you can use a variety of different toppings to your liking. So this recipe comes to about 450 calories and 43-ish grams of protein, again, depending on specifics. That is using some Greek yogurt, which is going to be a topping on mine. The nachos are going to be sweet potato and pepper. I started doing this with just sweet potato first, but the macros were getting pretty high. So I decided to throw in a lower calorie option for that base to add extra volume and to keep those calories a little bit lower. So again, you can feel free to use all sweet potatoes if that's something that better fits your macros. For the main protein source, I am gonna use turkey today, but you can totally use ground chicken or beef, or to be honest, even shrimp. And then for seasoning, I'm just gonna use a simple taco seasoning, but you can also do a mix of different spices like chili, cumin, paprika, garlic powder, all those types of things to make your own kind of taco seasoning. If you are looking for taco seasonings, do watch out if you're watching your sodium. A lot of them also contain sugar too. So if that's something you're mindful of, just be aware of that. And then at the end of this video, I am gonna show you what I'm going to top these with as well, so that you have some ideas of what to use on your own. Let's start getting our sweet potatoes in the oven first so they can roast while we get everything else prepped. So when we're cutting our sweet potatoes, first of all, I would get like thicker ones, right? I tried to find ones even thicker than this. We're just cutting them in nice uniform slices, about, what is this, 1/4 inch thick. Sweet potatoes are a great source of vitamin A. They have potassium, they have manganese, vitamin C, fiber. So they're really a great addition to your diet. Also vitamin B6 as well. In order to get 43 grams of protein, we are gonna divide this into 3 servings. So I did 1 small sweet potato, or 1 medium sweet potato, I guess. And this is gonna be good for about 3 servings. But again, you can adjust to your liking. I'm actually gonna be trying a calorie saving hack today. And instead of using olive oil on the potatoes, we're gonna brush them with water to get the spices to stick, and then put them in the oven. And I'm just gonna hit them with some paprika, garlic powder, salt, and pepper before they go in the oven and roast. So let's go ahead and try out this hack. It saves roughly, I estimated about 1/2 tablespoon, which is around 60 calories. So, you know, give or take 40 to 60 calories we're saving by not using the olive oil. And it still has, the recipe still has 14 grams of fat, so it still ends up being balanced anyway. Okay, so now we're just gonna brush them with a little bit of water to get the seasonings to stick on. So let's see if this works. I'm gonna do a few at a time. And we're also gonna preheat the oven to 400 degrees. So while the sweet potatoes are in the oven, we're just gonna prep a couple of veggies, and then we're gonna do the meat in a little bit so that it's nice and hot when the sweet potatoes are ready. So as I mentioned, we are gonna use some bell pepper for like the nachos, so like picking up the meat and everything. And then I've picked some fresh lettuce from my garden. I always love lettuce with like a taco thing. Some tomatoes. You can also add olives if you want, jalapeno. And then, you know, we're gonna add a few other toppings at the end, but these are the ones that we are going to prep now. I'm gonna show you how to cut this to make the best type of like nacho vessel. Okay, so we can hold the pepper upright, and then we're just gonna chop down. So that way we have this like giant nacho shape that can fit a lot of goodies. And then I usually just like to empty this out before I keep chopping. I'm curious, like, how do you usually cut peppers? This is honestly how I cut it even anyway. I know there's a lot of different methods for cutting peppers. And if you cut along this, you're gonna get the best, again, kind of like vessel. See how much these can fit. That's awesome. And we're just gonna prep our tomatoes by cutting them in half. or slices. Sometimes I like to slice mine. And the amount of this that you cut up is obviously based on what your portion size is. You know, these types of things won't add on that many calories. They're just gonna make your meal more voluminous and fill you up more, as well as adding more nutrients. And then we're just gonna shred the lettuce too. And I love onion, so we're gonna use some onion too, and I'm actually gonna cook this with the meat. Obviously, if you have a red onion, that works too. Whatever onion you have on hand would work just fine. So make sure that you flip your sweet potatoes about halfway. My oven is a wall oven and it's like smaller, so I think these are gonna take just about 30 minutes. But obviously, you know, ovens vary, so, you know, flip 15 to 20 minutes in. So last up is going to be prepping our meat, and I decided to make a little adjustment to keep the protein high but add some fiber and make it 4 servings. So if we add a cup of beans, then we can keep this recipe at 38 grams of protein and make it into 4 servings based on the meat. So I'm gonna be doing that. And honestly, if you wanna hit that 40 plus grams of protein, you can add like extra Greek yogurt or something like that. I also didn't add in all these veggies. You know, this could add up to an extra gram or 2, but it's not gonna be super significant. Anyway, let's get our meat prepped now. All right, so we're just going to cook our meat in a hot pan and then add our onion and beans in a bit. Toss it and keep breaking it up. And then once it's mostly browned, we're gonna throw in our onions. And just mix it all up, and then we're gonna cook these down before putting in our seasoning and our beans. Now we're gonna add our taco seasoning and our beans. And at this time, you can also drain if you want. This is pretty lean, so it is mostly water. But obviously, depending on what cut you're using, you might have some more fat going on there. And just because it's out, I'm gonna hit this with some extra paprika. And then we have 1 cup of black beans going in. And this looks perfect. So now it's time to assemble our nachos. And again, you can use whatever ratio of ingredients that fits your needs. For 4 servings, it is going to be a cup of our meat mixture, but let's go ahead and layer these on the plate. I'm gonna start with putting 2 slices of our bell pepper down, and then kind of putting our sweet potato chips around that. Fit it inside of our bell pepper. And then on top of I'm gonna use a spoon to layer. And I'm not gonna add cheese to this, but obviously that's another ingredient that would pair well with this recipe. So you can keep it dairy-free and gluten-free like this, or you can also, you know, add whatever your favorite ingredients are, just like tacos or any other similar recipe. Okay, so we've got our 1 cup of filling, and then we can add our other ingredients. You can totally do some salsa on this. You can do some avocado, would be obviously amazing, or guacamole, lettuce on top, jalapeno, olives, whatever your favorite kind of like Tex-Mex ingredients are. And to get this closer to 40 grams of protein, we're gonna do a couple dollops of Greek yogurt. This is gonna add extra protein and is going to replace sour cream since it's more macro friendly. And check out this beautiful plate. Oh my God, it looks so good. I'm literally salivating looking at this. This is right around 40 grams of protein and 400 calories. I almost forgot to tell you that another great addition to this is some like tortilla strips or, you know, crushed tortilla chips. And that way you kind of have that crunch of the tortilla chips without having that as like your base, which will really pack on the calories. Let's taste test this because I'm hungry and this looks really, really good. Bon appetit. The sweet potatoes came out nice and crispy. So it does have that like chip-like flavor, and obviously like the crispness from the pepper is gonna be perfect. This is so good, it's so healthy, it's high volume, it's high protein. It's perfect if you're looking for something that's lower in calories, higher in protein, higher in fiber, and nutritious. and simple to make. This was really easy. The hardest part was the sweet potatoes. I really hope you enjoyed making this recipe with me today. If you haven't already, please help support by liking this video and subscribing. I also don't want you to miss out on any more healthy and delicious recipes on this channel because I've got a lot more coming to you. So thank you for being here and see you next time.